Hi guys, happy Friday. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day so far. In this video, I'm going to be looking into the question, what guidance does your spirit team have for you regarding your love life? There are 3 groups to choose from. Group 1 is the red Jasper. Group 2 is the Rutiliated Quartz. And group 3 is the green Calcite. So if you want to take a moment to center, focus on your breathing, and feel whichever group, maybe multiple groups, or perhaps all of the groups that you're most drawn to. I'll give you a minute to make your selection and then we'll get right into it. And there are timestamps in the description box of the video for each group if you'd like to jump ahead. And up next is a close-up photo of the crystals to help you better make your selection. Hi, Group 1. You chose the red Jasper. So let's see, what guidance does your spirit team have for you right now about your love life? So let's start with these. And we have the reward, celebrate your magnificence. So this feels like you're about to be claimed by somebody, or somebody's about to approach you, that may be in like a secret admirer energy, wanting to start up a conversation, wanting to get to know you. Something where it's almost like a person surrendering kind of their heart or an invitation beyond kind of their walls of privacy into more of the inner sanctum of who they are emotionally, or even just in the sense of like a stranger approaching you to get to know you and kind of moving beyond those walls of anonymity with one another. And there's an encouragement here with your spirit team to be brave. It may come through very unexpectedly. Somebody just kind of pops up out of the blue, or you encounter someone where you're kind of least likely or least expecting to sort of have, a romantic spark with another person. It might catch you off guard, but there's an energy here of this is trustworthy to sort of explore as far as like conversations or hearing someone out, letting them almost give you their pitch or present whatever it is that they've been maybe working on or scripting behind the scenes, as far as like a confession of vulnerability in some sort of way, that you stand within your power by kind of just taking time, almost it feels like, to think about things, or you get to sort of set like the tone and the pace of whatever happens next. But there's a sense of like, hear this person out to the end. Even if it's something where like your answer would be yes right away, there's an importance, there's something about kind of letting the whole sort of performance or presentation, as they've been working on it kind of emotionally behind the scenes, letting that be displayed to you, demonstrated to you in some way, keeps you in a power position and puts them in a position of empowerment. Kind of like, okay, this is what I've created, this is what I've made for you, this is what I'm presenting to you. This gives you a glimpse also, as well as into this person's like thought process, what they're capable of emotionally, or at least sort of a hint of that it feels like will be very valuable for you, as far as like, this is someone getting ready to sort of demonstrate aspects of their love language to you that have to do with like the approach or the nature of what is said, that's almost, it feels like, will help you and this individual have like an open or healthy sort of communication with one another, or be very responsive to one another's efforts, or able to really consciously kind of take the extra time and effort to give offerings of love, or lean into a loving energy that's not just like what feels good for you, but what feels good for this person as well. So it's almost like very educational, almost like somebody saying, these are the things that really sort of inspire me emotionally, or make me feel good emotionally or romantically. So let me give you kind of a taste of that, in the hope that you'll reciprocate in some way, or feel that there's like a door open or an invitation that kind of level of interaction or moving forward in that way, it's something that like this person wants to do. So this may be somebody you're getting ready to encounter where it's like action steps are part of the love language, like thoughtful gestures, thoughtful actions, meaningful conversations, and this idea of like just be brave and kind of go forward from this. This may be a more emotionally evolved individual than you're used to dealing with. Either you're getting ready to discover someone that you're interacting with is more emotionally involved than you'd given them credit for, or you're getting ready to meet someone new that's like a different sort of archetype in terms of a potential lover than anyone you've encountered previously. So don't let any sort of fear of the unknown or getting caught off guard cause you to kind of like push this away or reject it before hearing everything that there is to kind of learn about it. We also have me time, enjoy your own company. So this is the encouragement not to seek, not to chase at this particular point in time, because what's meant for you will not only find you, it's like honed in on you in some sort of way. So a lot of you could definitely have a secret admirer that's getting ready to approach, or someone you've been dealing with that is kind of like, okay, I'm ready to let my guard down. I'm ready to let my walls down, because you have just been existing within the essence of your own energy up to this point in time in like a very open and yet self-respecting kind of way that it feels like has put you in this right vibration to manifest in a more satisfying connection with someone, or the beginning stages of what can turn into that type of satisfying connection that you've been hoping for, that you've been seeking, that all of your like shadow work and your healing and, you know, choosing better for yourself and breaking free of toxic cycles, all of that has kind of led to this moment in time where, you know, you're standing in this energy of personal empowerment through kind of your openness again to like hear things out, explore things fully. Don't just dismiss something at kind of first glance. This can almost be the energy as well of you may be getting ready to encounter someone, or you may be dealing with someone presently that it's kind of hard for them to open up to people, and it's almost like don't judge a book by its cover. This person may not be great at giving first impressions. Like give them time to warm up, allow them kind of the opportunity to sort of show you who they are kind of before or after kind of the performative aspects of kind of like meeting someone new, or wherever you're kind of at in your situation with one another at this time, or will be if this is someone approaching, but almost like before you're able to understand like fully what this person is capable of as far as love and romance and showing up for your needs, wants, and desires. There's a sense of like there's so much more to this person. They're like multifaceted or multi-layered, and part of that love language can again be that sort of like gift giving, action steps, gestures of love. Like here, let me show you more behind the scenes. Let me show you this mask that I wear just out in the world, but let me show you bits of who I am beyond it. Let me invite you into more of these cozy corridors of like who I am as an individual. And so it feels like this is something where your love life is getting ready to kind of evolve into something where it's not just you making all the effort or needing to kind of like settle for crumbs. Like you're getting ready to encounter someone, or have encountered someone that is capable of like showing up for you and giving in a way that you might not feel worthy or deserving of. You might not have thought such a thing could exist. Almost like it would be the perfect or ideal partner, but not the kind of thing you would have asked for or would have thought to sort of put on your list of intentions or manifestations, because you didn't know a real person could embody that. So it may be something that feels almost very idealized or fantasized in some kind of way, but this is like the real deal. This is really how this person feels compelled to show up for you, romantically speaking. And so there's a sense of kind of stilling yourself from a place of disbelief and allowing yourself to receive, allowing yourself to kind of adjust your senses to the reality that you have successfully called in a new type of experience, something that doesn't just take or leave you worse for wear, but something that really gives back and provides you almost like fulfillment that you didn't know you needed, but you are more than worthy and deserving of at this time. We also have fire elemental. I ignite the fire within me that connects me to the divine. So this can be like your divine counterpart, your perfect match, someone that is very healthy compliment for who you are at this stage of your journey. This is like something that has the potential to turn, it feels like, into a long-lasting connection, or something that could be like deeply healing or transformative, but in a positive way. This is like getting your spark back, getting your mojo back, getting back into your groove. You're in this season or this time where you're dealing with this person right now, or will be in kind of the near future, it feels like, that has the potential to kind of reignite something in you that had kind of gone dormant. It had gone cold. You'd had to sort of shut that part of yourself off in order to maybe do some self-exploration, focus on things other than love and romance. Some of you might have been single for a while, and it's kind of like, okay, you love yourself, you're great in your own company. Now it's time to meet that person, that spark that kind of matches that inner flame that you have ignited, and that you are walking in that lucidity and that truth inside of yourself. Now it's time to experience that resonant frequency, a reflection of all the work that you've done at this point to have this like glow up for yourself in your life, emotionally working through any kind of like wounds and heartbreak. And now it's time to experience what kind of the mirroring of that is in the form of another person, in a form of a partnership. We also have sacred space. I find peace, security, and contentment when surrounded by nature's beauty. So with this energy here, I'm hearing water under the bridge. So this can either be somebody resurfacing from the past, that has gone through their own kind of transformative, reflective period. And this can relate to this idea of like, hear this person out. Don't just judge the book by its cover or kind of make assumptions or leap to conclusions. Really see what this person has to offer, hear what they have to say before you make your decision. Yes, I invite you in closer, or, thanks for reaching out, but no thank you, and you move forth with your life. This can also tie into somebody that, again, they may be kind of like nervous around you. They may be somebody as well who's kind of like back in the dating scene for the first time in a while. They've never encountered someone like you, and so they're kind of just winging it. They're kind of just going with their instinct as far as like getting to know you, or having you get to know them in some sort of way, where there may be kind of like this period of sort of awkwardness. Somebody who's almost trying to overcome the fact that they could be very shy in general, or just you bring that out of them, and it's like, well, I don't want to miss this opportunity with this person. So it's like water under the bridge in terms of confusion, or almost like they don't say the right thing, or they kind of stumble, or they clam up. It may be somebody that like you encounter on a regular reoccurring basis, if it's like a secret admirer, and there's a sense of kind of just don't hold that against this person as they're kind of getting their bearings, as they're grounding themselves. This is somebody that feels like that maybe a very sensitive individual, or they've done some like healing within themselves to kind of like access the heart of their own emotions. They have a lot of love to give, but as far as like you are concerned, or just at this stage in their life, or again, like somebody you encounter where you're least likely to experience love, or you're not looking for love, it's kind of like, okay, let me adjust myself to how I'm usually showing up in this environment, or what's been like the status quo for me, because I'm wanting to rush towards this love. I'm wanting to rush towards this opportunity. I'm wanting to follow my heart in the direction of this person that is making me both excited and feel strangely, in the sense of kind of like reassurance, like, yeah, I'm scared, but I would be more disappointed in myself if I didn't take a step forward and kind of see what's behind the curtain, what's behind this sort of door of opportunity that you are maybe representing to a person. So it, again, could be somebody new that's like popping up in your environment that, over sort of a period of time, this doesn't feel to be like years. It would be almost like a collection of months. It may take you time to kind of like, okay, they came off as a little bit awkward at first, and we had these, encounters where it felt like we're right on the same page, and then it got weird again, and it just may take some time to kind of like get into that place where they're comfortable expressing themselves, they're comfortable in kind of like taking bold action steps towards you. So again, sitting in that energy of receptivity, not chasing, not pushing, kind of just observing and sort of seeing what this person has to like offer in some sort of way, because it feels like this is also the energy with all this fire right here, this fire elemental of like somebody who would kind of approach or have something to say, but it might not come out right, and then they'd go back and kind of make a revision. They in some way would like self-critique, so that the next time they see you, or the next conversation you have, the next kind of message they send or phone call that happens or whatever that is, it's like they've evolved in some way. They've stilled some part of themselves. They're becoming more expressive in others. Like you'll be able to kind of see that taking shape. Somebody who, you know, if they're not like absolutely ready for you, you're getting ready to witness somebody that will like get ready very quickly in the process of dealing with you. Not let me take some time and go figure this out, but hey, let me kind of adjust my stride so I can keep up with you, so I can catch up to you, or you know, kind of put myself in a place of relevance for consideration by you at this time. So let's get a couple more and see what other bits of guidance your spirit team has for you right now in regards to your love life. Okay, we also have creation. Yeah, so this is the energy of like a fresh start, a new beginning. You know, something that might have been a situation that was like a failure to launch before, but now the circumstance has wings and can take flight. Almost like both of you needed to find your wings. You needed to find yourself. You needed to kind of return to that source center within, become that light within the darkness, within your own journeys, within your own, you know, lives, and kind of soul contracts, and the purpose of your incarnation, different things that needed to happen. Again, this idea of like a twin flame connection, where this may be that time for kind of like, okay, what we had before was a glimpse. Now we've prepared ourselves. Now we're ready. Now we're both kind of elevated beyond the versions of ourselves that we were before, kind of these novices that we were before, and now we've become the adepts. We've achieved some degree of self-mastery within ourselves and within our own circumstances, so we can meet on that elevated plane, on that higher plane of connection with one another, because we've created safe passage into that for ourselves. So this can definitely, you know, indicate that like somebody from the past, this might now be right person, right time. You may have to sort of still your ego from jumping to conclusions and not judge this person based on like who they were before, but really take the time to sit and kind of allow them to show you who they've become. Not just, I'm working on these things, I intend this, but it's something where this is something that may have gone through like a transformation, almost like a tempering inside emotionally. Somebody that has a lot of love to give, a lot to share, a lot to confess, a lot that they want to nurture between the two of you, but it's going to require you kind of just hearing them out. This can also, though, tie into the idea of, you know, a new start, a new beginning, a fresh chapter and experience in romance with a very different type of partner than you've had before. Something where it takes time in order to judge the full wingspan of this person, and like, can you keep up with me? The ways in which I've set my standards high and I rise to the occasion to meet those things. Can you do that? Or is this a situation where you're going to kind of cause me to drop in my vibration? Ground myself, create stagnation. It's almost like before you make that decision of yes or no, give this person or this situation the opportunity to kind of stretch out into its full expression, and then determine, is this what the present version of me is looking for? Because these energies all speak to like long-term potential, but it's something where you're having to kind of judge it just on the present moment. Like who I am in this moment and who this person is demonstrating to me that they are in this moment. Do these things align? If yes, like progress forward with that. This isn't sort of the energy or the season about like, okay, this version of them right now, how does that fit in with my 10-year plan? Because there's a sense of getting ready to like connect with someone or reconnect with someone that it's like that 10-year plan, you're working towards that together. That idea of like, where's this going to be a year from now? You both have the ability to kind of shapeshift with one another in that capacity, and you're choosing to sort of get to know one another, or get to know one another again, and kind of building step by step in that direction to where what the situation and who you both are, what you look like right now, and what the circumstances now, it could be like 180-degree change. It could be so different a year from now, like different for the better. These are creative energies. This is the energies of like ascension. So there's a sense of don't get ahead of yourself, be very present in the moment, because you're getting ready to link up with someone that can meet you almost at like that Ace of Pentacles level. It's a sense of like, I have something worthwhile to offer to you, not just in theory, but in practice. I've worked on myself, or if it's somebody new, like I've, had experiences in my life, or my journey in my life has brought me to this point where I see you for who you are. It resonates with what I see within myself, who I know myself to be, so we can move forward more consciously in that capacity. And it's kind of like no need to rush things. It's sort of like being in that ultimate energy of the flow state can help to sort of maximize this potential here. We also have Unity. Archangel Raguel wants you to understand that you are one with the universe. Yeah, this is like the yin to your yang coming back together with a divine counterpart after a period of separation, that it's like now your pieces fit together. You needed to take some time to discover kind of what were those polarities of light and shadow within you. How could you understand these things, have compassion for these things, work with these things, integrate these things, become the yin to your own yang first and foremost, and then be able to experience that kind of resonant wholeness with another person who has gone about their own unique process of doing that for themselves. So this is the season, this is the vibe for that right now. It may look very different than people around you that may be in a process of kind of like releasing things, kind of letting things go. It's bringing to mind the idea of like here in the United States, in the northern hemisphere, we're getting pretty close to autumn, the season of release and kind of letting things go. And it's almost like you would be sort of the opposite of that. This is like a coming together. It's letting go of those energies of sort of, and sorry about the noise in the background. That's my dog, and he's thumping his tail on the ground. So yeah, there's the seal of approval for that, the applause from that, from the universe, from spirit guides. But it's this idea here of kind of like as other people are kind of cutting away from illusions or needing to sort of release things, you are in the process of kind of releasing that energy of, okay, I'm working on myself, I'm leveling up, I'm setting my boundaries, I'm holding my expectations high. And it's like you've done that process of shedding the versions of yourself that would have settled for less than you deserve, or would have kind of just given up on this journey of sort of like loving yourself, coming home to yourself, and maybe leaning into a dark place, but you've chosen instead to become that light within yourself. And so it's a sense of you've done that process of release. You're actually ahead of the curve. You're right in that proper position within yourself to come together with someone that matches where you're at this point in your journey. And because this has been a process of kind of leveling up and elevating, this is somebody, it feels like, that brings stamina with them. They bring endurance with them. They bring resilience with them. They bring an energy with them that it's like, this can go the distance as long as you both keep maintaining kind of that process, that vibe inside of yourselves that brought you to this unique place where, hey, we have this opportunity to reconnect. We have this opportunity to kind of set the wrong things right, or rectify the past in some sort of way. Or it's a new person that is like, okay, I have this opportunity to get out of my comfort zone of I'm single, I'm searching, I'm alone, I'm loving my own company. And here's the opportunity to take a leap of faith, to kind of course correct for every chapter in my narrative previously where I felt drawn towards someone and I didn't take action and always wondered what if. Like, here's the opportunity to sort of like, okay, I've got this feeling, I've got this instinct, I am drawn to this person, I'm going to take that chance. And so finding a way in which those pieces kind of fit very seamlessly or comfortably between the two of you, whether this is like a reconnection or a new person coming forth to you, it's a sense of just like this sacred dance of almost like getting very cozy, cuddling up with one another energetically. It's not just like, a snap of the finger and, oh, we fit together, but it's a sense of almost finding your niche or your place within these kind of aspects or kind of quirks or nuances within one another is sort of a long-term or more sort of long game strategy, it feels like, to sort of this energy right here, or something that's upcoming in your reality, like that'll bring you to a place of feeling very satisfied. It feels like with the choices that you made to kind of have an open heart, have an open mind, and take kind of an explorer's position to someone that's getting ready to like speak their truth, or you know, kind of make something of themselves more known to you. So let's get some initials. This can be a first, middle, or last name, or can spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. Got J, V, S, T, F, D, Y, U, H, G, D, P, R, N, C, B, I, and P. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link to that in the description box of the video. I offer a variety of pre-recorded video readings, written readings, and channeled letters. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, Group 2. You chose the Rutiliated Quartz. So let's see, what guidance does your spirit team have for you in regards to your love life right now? Okay, so let's start with these. The first one we have is the unknown is your friend. Lean in to embrace what's next. So this is the energy of a talking stage that may be getting ready to start between you and a person, or you're getting ready to get the answers that you've been seeking, or find some kind of clarity as far as like if you've been asking if there's long-term potential between you and someone. Maybe it's been kind of on again, off again, or you've needed to like take a break from one another, work commitments coming up, or somebody that might have just, you know, kind of asked for time or sort of pulled their energy back. It feels like communication's getting ready to ramp up once again, or they're getting ready to like break that silence. Or if you have felt kind of like, should I say something? Should I reach out? Should I just keep waiting? If you've been getting like that overwhelming nudge to break the ice, to unblock this person, or even just kind of step through that kind of silence that is settled between the two of you, if you've gotten those confirmations in other ways, then this can be kind of like that full seal of approval, that like ultimate confirmation that like, yeah, your intuition is guiding you in the right direction. That you can either kind of sit in this energy of continuing to wonder, continuing to wait, any way that that's sort of taking away from your peace of mind, or like draining your energy, or pulling your focus away from just kind of being very present in the moment. Then there's a sense of like you can free the two of you from that energy of sort of not knowing or waiting by being the first one to speak. This person may be sort of hesitant, maybe mirroring a lot of those same kind of fears, like, should I say something? Should I reach out? This could even be somebody that, like, if it's a talking stage, they could be almost kind of trying to make themselves sort of hold back, like, okay, I gotta wait a couple of days before I respond. I gotta run game here. I gotta have a strategy. I can't seem too excited. I can't seem too overly enthusiastic. Somebody that's trying to just very much almost control the narrative in this situation. And so that might have created a lot of like confusion between the two of you, or there's a sense of like you can see through that. And so it may be in your best interest then to kind of just be the one to sort of step beyond that. Like, you don't need to wait for that kind of protocol. It's a sense of like, if you feel an attraction to this person, if you feel drawn to this person, you taking the lead in some sort of way, or being very open to when they kind of initiate the conversation once more. This may be the time to kind of like, hey, let's approach this from a different angle. Like, I don't want to have to like play games here in this situation. Sort of rewriting the rules for how the circumstance goes on. It may alleviate a lot of pressure. It may provide a lot of reassurance to this person that something that to them may feel kind of forced or artificial. Maybe like their friends and family have tried to give them dating advice or, encouragement, or they've kind of like picked that up from others on social media. And it's a sense of it may not fit in with kind of like who you are or what you're sort of feeling at this point. Like, I don't just want to play games. I want to get to know someone. I'm not trying to like waste my time in this long extended, we've got this grace period we give one another, and there's got to be like a 3 to 5 day window in between, talking and kind of the earlier phases. There's a sense of throwing that all out the window and allowing things to develop very organically by like giving this person the nudge, the indicator, the signal of like, hey, I know a lot of people go about dating in the modern times in this way, but I'm really looking to bypass all of that. I'm not looking to kind of get stuck in a cycle like that, or we've been in a cycle like that long enough. Let's try to find a way to like move beyond that. And it feels that honesty within this situation in that sense, even if it feels a little bit uncomfortable, or you're sort of like, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing, that'll nevertheless kind of create sort of a liberated energy within you that makes you kind of feel or present almost as like a safe or a reassuring place for authenticity for this person. And you're also going to know, like, if they're not up to par, if they're not somebody that can like meet you at that level, their vibe's going to give it away. Their responsiveness and eagerness, or their kind of coldness and their pushback is going to let you know, like, are you just wasting your time by like continuing on with this formality, and maybe it's time to like move forth in another direction, or you kind of just help to sort of eliminate some of that awkwardness between the two of you, or that sense of like obligation to just sort of societal trends as far as like getting to know one another and romance like in modern times. And you may kind of eject the two of you from that and put you more into a state of being with one another where things can happen just very naturally as they're supposed to. That can be something which unlocks kind of the best possible timeline for the two of you moving forward. We also have celebrate the sacred gap, give thanks for buffer time. Yeah, so this can definitely be the energy of like a no contact situation, or like early stages, talking stage, or kind of like situationship energy, that there's a sense of you need to kind of create some kind of control, or like a plan of action. Like, I'm only going to sort of adhere to these arbitrary kind of timelines, or these sort of windows of time where we're connecting, and then there's this like huge silence, or we're just sort of redirecting our focus. Not that you're like infringing on, this person's like personal time, or allowing anyone to like take your personal time from you, but there's a sense of almost like a need for just to not lose yourselves in whatever's possible, if that's a reconnection or, something that can evolve into something more. But there's a sense of you have the ability and to almost like fast track what may be that obligatory, just sort of, initial phase of like reconnection, or initial phase of getting to know one another. You're at a place like in your life, or in what you're able to call in, where you want to kind of like know what it is you're selecting from. Want to know what it is you're getting, not just when, sort of you're all involved with one another and you're talking and you're interacting and your energies are all intermingled, but also how it feels like when you're both away, when you're both separate, when there's not that exchange in kind of real time, but you've reached a place within your own life, or maybe just in the energies of love that are kind of available to you, or the people you're dealing with at this time. It shouldn't be taking very long to determine like, yeah, this is someone I connect with, or no, it isn't. And so if you kind of just leave it to sort of the pace that has been set, or a tone that like this person just almost, it's not even like their comfort zone. It's just, this almost feels like something that they've been guided or advised, or maybe they read something or watched something like a podcast, something that kind of created a sense of like, there's a structure, there's a rule book, there's kind of these societal standards that people are adhering by, with these kind of conscious and deliberate, like, okay, we had a conversation, now 48 hours must go by before I respond again. Like these arbitrary sort of rules that in some sort of way is informing this person's worldview currently, or like when they approach you, or kind of, you know, in real time, if this is already someone in your reality. And there's a sense of like honoring that, like you'll pretty quickly maybe be able to understand that sort of that's what it is. This is almost like, don't leap to the worst conclusion though, and just sort of think, oh, they're trying to manipulate. They're trying to be the one that has all the power in this situation. There's a sense of almost like this person just sort of picked up this strategy from somewhere. They may not be very good at it. They may not have used it before. It may not even like resonate with them, but this is almost somebody that's trying to break out of their pattern of like failed relationships, or moving too quickly with people and kind of like missing the opportunity to learn about red flags. And so that's beautiful to want to have some kind of structure, some kind of discipline involved in that process of, you know, before the passions are fully unleashed. You're wanting to know what you're getting as far as the person is concerned. But there's a sense here of like the waiting game doesn't serve you. Kind of like this very extended period of time of this, it doesn't serve like where you're going ultimately, or what you're kind of like needing to gather in your life at this time romantically, in terms of like other opportunities for change, or other things you may need to focus on in sort of the upcoming future. Like if you're going to bring anyone romantically with you into that next phase, then it's kind of like a fast tracked, or like a quick interview. Like you're sort of bypassing that usual elongated process, and it's like, okay, let's speed this up, let's hurry this up a little bit. So you may need to be the one to kind of push that forward a bit, sort of seize the reins, kind of seize control in this situation, and give this person like an unconscious signal that it's okay to kind of do that with you. It's okay to sort of like, we don't need to wait the 48 hours in between. Like it's okay if you're texting me the next morning. Like I'm not going to think that you're being too overly enthusiastic. I'm not going to think you're coming on too strong. I'm not going to be, you know, turned off by that. Some of you may be dealing with someone that is kind of like, I'm just going to be aloof and disinterested. I'm gonna present that, and that's gonna make me more desirable. So it's almost like you have to kind of like retrain this person away from that mindset, which might have been kind of a hook at first, but it kind of reaches the point, or is at that point, where it's like there's got to be something more, or it doesn't necessarily serve kind of the tone that you've set for your life, or what you're getting ready to step into in terms of like your time and energy may be very precious in the near future. And so there's almost like you've got to come to some understanding, like a greater understanding of kind of like who this is that you're dealing with, or there's got to be kind of this rapid progression for the time being through these kind of stages of getting to know one another, so that you know, like, is this just a time suck? Is this just something that I'm going to invest this time and this energy and this waiting, and it's going to deprive me of other opportunities, or it just kind of like takes away from an experience of just being focused on other things in my life, if it's not going to turn into anything. We also have movement meditation. I celebrate and honor my physical body through dance and movement. Yeah, so this is all about like encouraging you to take the lead in this situation in a way that is gentle to this person's ego. So this doesn't need to be like calling them out necessarily. It feels like kind of your next step forward may not be the need for like an ultimatum, or, you know, sort of like, are you just playing games? It feels like you're giving me a lot of confusion. There's a sense of kind of just operating on sort of the assumption of whatever it is you're feeling, that like, okay, this is kind of taking too long, or it feels like this person is sort of being hesitant in making a decision, or they're kind of riding the fence here. I don't know, you know, if they're coming or going. I'm not really sure what to expect here. And so this is almost gently and yet firmly kind of redirecting their attention in a different way to sort of interact with you, by being the first person to like take that step in that other direction, crossing some kind of threshold of like, okay, we've got this obligatory period of silence. Who's going to speak first? We've got this obligatory period of silence, but it hasn't been the allotted amount of time, maybe even like a formula they've created for themselves, sort of like, okay, I historically rush into connections, so this time I'm going to make sure that I'm not moving too quickly. It's almost like You've either honored that need within this person enough, and it's time to kind of take the lead and sort of pick up the pace between the two of you, in order for them and this situation to align with like a wave of abundance, or an opportunity for like a glow up, something like a season of blossoming that's happening for you. In order for this person to catch a ride on that train, there's a sense of like, there has to be more that's kind of established between the two of you. There's something where your life may be getting ready to be so busy that you don't have time for like empty talking stages. You don't have time for situationships. You got all these other things going on, but there's something that's almost significant enough with the person you're dealing with, or will like very quickly kind of maybe begin this idea of like a talking stage, or like a situationship with. There's something within them that if they can then choose to rise to the occasion alongside you, there is a place for them like in that narrative moving forward. But you have to be the one to kind of gently nudge it in that direction of like, okay, this is where I'm headed. So are you kind of with the program, or are you going with the flow of that? Or is this something to where, maybe we kind of just cut this off, or we sort of like go our separate ways, something where it's like you need to kind of take the initiative here. We also have spark of the divine. I recognize the divine spark within me, and I recognize I am part of all creation. So this is an encouragement here for you to maybe step outside your comfort zone of what you had thought in terms of someone that was just going to come in and like wine you and dine you, or, would be the one to kind of make that effort. If you dealt with a lot of like low effort people in the past, it may have been necessary for you to like set the bar higher to avoid attracting those kind of people. Almost the energy of sort of like, I will believe it when I see it, because you could have been operating previously in the energy of I'll see it when I believe it, which for some people kind of spirals into this experience of always performing, always trying to earn love in order to, see that up close and personal from another person. So you may have switched gears with that entirely. And there's a sense of, some of you may feel kind of uncomfortable within that experience of like, okay, you want to be in your soft energy, you want to be in your receptive energy, maybe you want to be sitting in your divine feminine energy, and it feels counterintuitive to kind of like set the tone energetically, or to take the lead and sort of switch up the momentum that this other person has set, because you've been in your receptive mode. You've either called someone back into your reality, or this is something where this is like a new sort of situation that's brewing, that you're still in those kind of like fledgling stages of it. This is some reassurance here that you're not like getting off your throne. You're not like lowering yourself in any sort of way. You're not repositioning into kind of like the wrong energy. This is something where you're actually sort of reinforcing that determination towards receptivity by actively taking the lead to kind of shift yourself and the circumstance and how you're interacting with people and expecting people to show up into that direction of like, okay, we can take our time, but there's got to be progress. Okay, we can take our time, but there's got to be something where I'm experiencing tangible movement forward at a healthy pace, at more of a rapid or advanced pace than what has been the case between the two of us up to this point. So it's kind of like putting a limit on that sense of like, I'm going to have these walls, I'm going to have this discernment, I'm going to allow that for that person as well, giving them that opportunity. But it's almost like maybe a sense of almost restlessness or boredom, because it's like root chakra and crown chakra sort of, should I stay or should I go? So there may be a part of you that's kind of like, I don't know, is this just going to be a waste of time? Is this person gonna like match my frequency? I'm not really sure where I stand with them day to day, or kind of like what the circumstance is. And so this is that nudge for you from your spirit team, from your spirit guides. You may need to take the lead in this sense of kind of like, okay, we're moving forward in this direction, and you'll be able to sense, is there any pushback? Is there resistance? Or is this person participating with you? And that will give you your answer as far as like, leave them where they are, or continue kind of with this adjusted sort of dance that you're able to do with one another, moving on into kind of the next chapter of your experience. So let's get a couple more, and then I'll get some initials to close out the reading. Okay, so the first one we have is clarity. Your angels are helping you to see the situation in a clearer way. Yeah, so this is, again, that encouragement here for you to take the initiative, to take the lead, to be the one to kind of seize the moment, seize this creative potential between the two of you, to be able to have more of an understanding of sort of like, do we both want the same things romantically? Are we able to invest the same amount of increased effort moving forward? Because there's definitely a need to like move beyond the threshold of something, but it feels like this person may be hesitating. Again, it's almost the sense of like, they've kind of dropped anchor, or they're periodically doing that in this situation, not so much because of fears, but almost a sense of like, I'm trying not to become afraid of the potential, or I'm trying not to like lean into old patterns. I'm trying something new. I'm trying something outside of my comfort zone, but it comes in a very formulaic sense as they are in the process of kind of expanding into like uncomfortable or vulnerable territory. Then there's a sense of like, okay, I'm going to set timelines. I'm going to try to put a logical spin on all of this. I'm going to try to, set a formula to everything. And that will make me feel like I've got some kind of stability as I'm navigating, kind of like emotional waters that are new, that are overwhelming, that are uncomfortable for me. And so there's a sense that they've brought this situation this far. They've announced themselves and their intentions in that way. But in order to kind of pivot up to a greater understanding of what's possible between the two of you, like in a longer term sense, there's a need for you to kind of take the baton and be that person that creates that next kind of mileage forward, that next kind of movement forward, that next sort of, okay, now we have a different sort of horizon that we're looking at, a different map that we are navigating according to, a different sort of understanding of where we're going or where we would like to go with one another and individually. We also have preserving the environment. Archangel Ariel is calling upon you to assist her in protecting our beautiful planet. So this definitely feels like your life purpose, your mission, who you are as a person, what you have been working towards at this point in time or seeking to discover. That should take precedence at this point in your life. So this is kind of like you can't take on any more baggage, anybody's uncertainty. Yes, this is the season for like plant seeds of potential and see what happens. That energy of like, should I stay, should I go? There's something very viable here between you and this person you're currently like dealing with, or somebody that's going to be coming in pretty soon, and it'll be an experience like this. But there's the sense of almost like you need to kind of remember the path that you have walked to come here and not allow anyone to kind of like waste unnecessary amounts of time. Like, time is of the essence, time is precious. You're in the midst of kind of fulfilling some aspect of like a larger kind of agenda that your soul had for coming into this incarnation, something that involves like the fulfillment of sort of making the pain that you've experienced matter, or the things that have like shaped you, shaped your character, shaped your life, and how that's supposed to sort of involve like the imprint that you make on the lives of those around you, or ways in which you've chosen to kind of harness those experiences for good or bad to like help others or to heal others, like light worker, way shower kind of energy. It's like that takes center stage. And so this is someone you may be dealing with that it's almost like it's their choice. Are they going to be just a lesson, or is this somebody that's going to be your blessing? Like, the ball's in their court, and it doesn't serve you to kind of like sit around unnecessarily and sort of let them think, let them wait. They've either had enough time to think and wait, or if they're kind of just like going very slowly through this process of like, I'd like to get to know you, I'd like to, become familiar with one another, then it's a sense of almost like you need to be proactive about kind of like, this is what my time is worth, it's valuable, this is what my presence, my energy, the essence of who I am, like I know my value and worth, and so are you fit for the challenge? Are you somebody who's going to be up to that challenge of, you're not just coming into my life and we're both stagnating, but if you're coming into my life, we're both kind of living on this track of vitality, and that can involve, keeping aspects of both of your individual lives vital and abundant in order to create that with one another. So let's get some initials. This could be a first, middle, or last name, or could spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. got V, V, T, Y, H, A, R, W, P, N, N, D, L, Q, W, S, B, C, and F. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link to that in the description box of the video. I offer a variety of pre-recorded video readings, written readings, and channeled letters. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, Group 3. You chose the green calcite. And apologies in advance if there are any noises in the background of this video. My dog is in my office with me and he's being kind of loud and frisky today. So let's see. What guidance does your spirit team have for you regarding your love life at this time? Okay, we have divine drunkenness, surrender to your spiritual reverie. So this is the energy of somebody who's going to make you feel on cloud 9. This may be somebody who's getting ready to ask you out for a drink, ask you out for coffee, ask you out for dinner, ask for your phone number, maybe even a friend request that somebody may send you, or like they start following you on social media. Something that is kind of like a knock on the door to an experience that may be more than you bargained for, but like in the best possible way. This feels like you're getting ready to encounter a lover who knows how to wine and dine, who knows how to celebrate another person romantically speaking. So this is almost, it's kind of like the energy of it's Valentine's Day 365 days a year. Somebody that you either like bring out the romantic side in them, or this is just kind of like part of their nature. It could be like gift giving, or like the type of person that would make you like a playlist or like a mixtape. I'm dating myself there with a reference to that, but like a mixtape or like a CD, like they make you a CD of songs, something like that. Kind of a traditional old school lover. And so this is some encouragement for you to remain ready is what's coming through. So for some of you, this is like, get ready because this type of person's coming into your reality. And for others of you, it's like, you've been doing a good job. Continue to remain ready. Continue to sort of keep that momentum going with like your eyes and ears open, being very enthusiastic and, you know, kind of warm and expecting of positive and good things when you go out and about and, you know, you have the opportunity to like meet new people. This can also indicate, you know, kind of like group events, anything that you're invited to where you're kind of among a new crowd, among a new social circle. This may be the kind of like place or the venue in which you encounter someone that is different from your usual type and expectation, that can bring you all of those like lovely, wonderful, like Cupid's arrow has hit and it's just like wine and roses kind of experience of romance. Maybe you've been needing that. You've been reading a lot of romance novels, making those vision boards, kind of manifesting in terms of those like imaginings and sort of getting in tune with that vibration of like, oh, what it will feel to be loved and cherished, not just like someone to hang out and do things with, but those very like warm moments of connectedness with another individual that has primed and prepped you in order to be able to identify and receive in. It feels like the right type of suitor. So some of you are giving like a very yummy energy, a very luscious energy, and you're encouraged to like go out there, make yourself seen, let yourself be known. You know, if you're not getting those invitations to have drinks or to have coffee or to have dinner, take yourself out. You find a friend, go out with them, just something to kind of like get you out of the space of like, okay, you've made those vision boards, you've done that work inside, you said those affirmations and the mantras, and you've lifted yourself up into the place of like, yeah, I'm ready to receive, I'm ready to experience love and partnership. And now it's almost like you're able to co-create with the universe and meet the universe halfway by just kind of putting yourself out there. You're shining brightly, you will be noticed, or you've already been noticed, and it's the sense of almost like all that work wasn't for nothing. It's not like, okay, somebody turns up and it's just kind of, a satisfying relationship, but I'm glad to have someone, so I'm going to keep them close. No, this is the experience of like, you've put in the effort to love yourself so substantially that you've like raised the bar in some sort of way in terms of even people who will approach. It feels like it's a new group of individuals or a new sort of experience. I mean, like everybody has their, their virtues and their flaws. Everybody's got their baggage and their potential, but there's a sense of like, this is a different kind of ratio of these things, or it's structured or been handled a little bit differently within this new kind of category of men or this category of women that you are getting ready to encounter socially, or that are going to be drawn to your light. And so this is definitely encouragement from your spirit team, like remain enthusiastic, get enthusiastic. It does not serve you to kind of look at yourself in a self-critical, or almost like I'm going to go and do a bunch of corrections on things I don't like within myself. This is not the season for that type of shadow work. It's the sense of like, you've allowed yourself to bloom where you are planted. Now allow yourself to be witnessed and admired. To have ally in disguise, discover the hard to find blessings. So there may be somebody that has like a crush on you, somebody that may not approach for a while, but nevertheless it's like you register on their radar. They pick up on you, they pick up on your vibe, they see you, they meet you, you start to get to know them. It's somebody that may have a very good poker face, they may play their cards very close to the chest, where you'll not know that they have a crush on you until they're ready to open up and like actively pursue that. This could be somebody that may be in the process of kind of like getting ready to date again, like they're either coming out of another relationship, or they've already like closed out another cycle, but we're like taking some time to themselves, or maybe even like they've just started to open up their options, like I'm ready to date again, and they're just starting to look around. They encounter you, and it's kind of like, okay, now here's somebody to keep in mind as I'm in that process of like readying myself. So it's somebody that maybe like a step or a couple steps behind you as far as this like juicy, I'm in my power, I'm ready for love kind of energy. But it's the sense of something that's almost like, further down the line, this may be a very intriguing offer. Further down the line, when this person kind of sheds the last of these bits of grief, because it's almost like they're seeing clearly, kind of like the past is gone. It doesn't serve me to sit in the pity party. I need to like look towards the future. And there are just these kind of like little bits of sort of this cloak of grief, this like 5 of Cups energy, crying over spilt milk, that they're needing to shed before they can show up for you as somebody who's like beyond their past, who's not sort of like bringing grief to your table, but somebody who's like, okay, that happened before, now I'm ready to see sort of what else is out there. So that's kind of like among the energy of like, there's people with crushes and maybe secret admirers, a lot of attention you may be getting. And in the midst of all of that, there's both people that will be approaching you immediately, and there's also people that they're still kind of getting in tune. They're still sort of getting ready for you. So this is a very like important season for you in terms of even just people that sort of like catch your vibe, catch your drift, see you from afar. It's something that's almost like, wow, there's that light on the horizon. There's somebody that like I'm interested in. Now I gotta stop crying myself to sleep every night. Now I've got to, just kind of put those memories of the past behind me and get excited for the future. So it's almost something where you're helping to kind of hold space while somebody else kind of like levels up in some sort of way. And in the midst of that is almost the sense of seeing someone who is living their life, who is enjoying their life, who, you know, maybe this is somebody you may meet in like a group or like a social circumstance. This can definitely be like a new friend that you make that then has like a crush, and so you wouldn't know that because it's just platonic, but you encounter them in this energy of like, I'm getting out there, I'm enthusiastic. And there's a sense of somebody that may either get to know you, get to know your story, get to know what you've been through, or even just like spending time around you. They can read some kind of like pain that is, it's just a part of who you are. It's a part of your past. It's in your eyes. It's there. It's like in your vibration, but it's not all you are. You are this transcendent energy. But it's not like, oh, everything's just been easy and it was all handed to you on a silver platter. It's like you're sitting in this energy of like, no, this is a hard-won victory. This is a self-created phoenix from the ashes kind of vibe that you're putting out here. And it's something where this, like this present version of you almost only shines so bright because of like the context of whatever that darkness is that you've had to like overcome romantically or personally in other ways. And this is the energy of somebody who may be very like inspired or reassured by that, kind of like, okay, there is life after, you know, a breakup or a divorce even. You know, there's the ability to kind of move beyond dark night of the soul and grieving stage and to kind of live a very full existence again. Kind of whatever's been lost, whatever's been shed, whatever's fallen apart, that's not the end of the narrative. And so this is something where there may be like a deep soul connection in the works for you, something that takes on many different facets and layers, but where almost kind of like the feelings would be hidden for a while, but that's necessary because you're like a guiding light for somebody as they're picking themselves up and getting ready to like put themselves out there or start again in some sort of manner. We also have embrace change. I move easily and confidently through the changes in my life. So this is like that energy of your time as a caterpillar in a cocoon has expired and your wings are ready. You're that butterfly. You're ready to soar. You're ready to create ripples of change within your own personal narrative. You're ready to redefine how people see you, the types of romantic connections you are participating with, that you're calling into your reality. There's a sense of like, you've done this hard work. You've done this heavy lifting. You are radiant at this particular point in time. And, you know, it doesn't suit you to kind of just remain in the shadows, to remain hidden. You are inspiring others who are currently in the shadows and hidden by your bravery and willingness to kind of like transcend, put yourself out there, open your heart to love again, despite the disappointments that you've had. This is kind of like paying it forward, it feels like, in some sort of way to both the potential like for your romantic future, and it's also something which is kind of, it's in homage to the version of yourself or the versions of yourself that you were before, that you had to like shed or you had to like sit with. You had to kind of like move through these versions of you in order to come into this place where like the sky's the limit. There's like open possibilities for you. So maybe you've been in like toxic connections. Maybe you've had like divorce or a series of divorces, or, you know, just kind of like turmoil in life that has really forced you to reinvent or redefine yourself in some way, not just like move forward through linear time, but like truly reimagine yourself, re-embody like a different version of who you are, these like major mile markers of like change and transition. And so your willingness at this time to kind of like get out there and be seen, it not only puts you in proximity to receive kind of these opportunities to experience a different kind of partner or a different kind of partnership, being celebrated romantically in a different way that kind of reflects how you celebrate yourself. But it's a sense of also being sort of a way shower for others who will take the initiative to kind of move through wherever they're at in their own kind of like grieving or healing journey in order to be in that same plateau as you, where then it's possible to like, okay, you're shining bright, I want to see what a love illuminated from that basis can be like, because I've never known that before. I haven't known that in quite some time. And so it's almost like you're calling love forth to you in many different directions, love and romance and like adoration, admiration, respect, just by kind of like going out there, making yourself known, making yourself seen, kind of living this moment of your life to the fullest. We also have Earth Angel. I am a guardian of Mother Earth and protect all who live on her. So this is an encouragement to trust your heart, trust your path, trust your journey up to this point that has brought you to a place where you may be getting sacred nudges in particular directions to take action steps, maybe even cut off communication with certain individuals that you're like, you know, this is kind of satisfying or fulfilling in a certain sense, but it doesn't really feel aligned with where I'm going. Something just doesn't feel like this is kind of all that there is to experience. You may need to step into the energy of becoming comfortable with being the villain in somebody else's story, you know, loving yourself, respecting yourself first and foremost, even if that disappoints others, even if you're showing up in a way that kind of ruffles others' feathers, or you're declaring to yourself like, the pain and the wreckage of my past is not going to deter me from following my heart to a better future, which can involve inviting new people or new experiences in, but also kind of loving yourself enough to sort of allow certain doors to remain closed, to not backtrack, to not settle. Like, you've come too far from that. You're shining too bright in order to even, it feels like, be able to do that. Like, it wouldn't, in certain ways, there's almost an experience that may be coming in for you that is so beyond kind of what you've known up to this point in time in romance that it'll make you, and it could be this person that could start off as like a friend, like a crush, and when they finally like manifest fully into your reality, it's like, oh, that's what I was missing, that's what I was waiting for. I see now why I can't settle. I see how I can't shrink myself back down into that previous container, or that previous way in which I moved through the world, or allowed the world to move all over me, how I can't do that anymore. And it's not just me out here in this lone wolf kind of energy, marching to the beat of my own drum, following my own heart further into solitude, but it's the sense of there's a different type of romance that aligns very precisely with that. There's empowered romance. It's like you choose you and everything else chooses you as well. So let's get a couple more oracle cards, and then I'll get some initials to close the reading out. First one we have is preserving the environment. Archangel Ariel is calling upon you to assist her in protecting our beautiful planet. So there's a sense here that your spirit guides want you to trust in the work that you have done to raise your vibration, to keep your energy high and pure and clear. That in and of itself is kind of like a force field. It deflects shadiness, or allows you to at least perceive it from miles away. Trust your vibe more than you're trusting kind of like the surface level demonstration. And it's a sense of just like a hot knife through butter. You're going to cut through obstacles. There's nothing that is going to like stand in your way or derail you unless you want it to, as far as this kind of essence that you're in right now. There may be a lot of people that are trying to like earn your approval, get your attention, show why they are the best possible suitor. They are the possible candidate. They are the person that, you know, is the best kind of match to sort of walk with you in towards the future. You look very good, and so you help whoever it is that you choose as your suitor. They look good as well. It's like a reflection of them in a very positive way to see the type of person that they have on their arm, which will be you eventually. And so there's a sense of standing in that embodiment, standing in that knowingness, not from a place of like, oh, being egotistical and thinking you're better than anyone, but really like recognizing what you've invested within yourself, what you've kind of committed yourself to, what you've done as far as raising those standards, as far as, you know, efforts to make healthier choices for yourself, to heal yourself, to love yourself. That's increased your value and worth. Anybody that thought that you were somebody they could like get on sale before, or, you know, that your affections could be sort of like cheaply won or bought in some sort of way, it's like you've stepped out of that paradigm. Bare minimum will not suffice. This is a sense of like there's an increased admission fee in order to be a participant in your life, a part in your life, and there's people that are enthusiastic and sort of willing to do that, willing to go that extra mile, willing to pay that forward for you. We also have joy. You're being guided to do more things that make you happy. So there's that beautiful confirmation again, like get out of your comfort zone, accept that invitation, take that adventure, do that thing that is very spontaneous. Any kind of nudges or urges you get, anything you find out about last minute and you're like, that'd be fun, that sounds good, I don't have anything going on today, or I've always wanted to do that, this is the time to take that leap of faith. It's the energy of calculated risk taking, because you're following your heart, you're following those nudges inside, things that make your inner child sort of light up with joy. Those are all things that are pointing you in the direction of like a healthier partnership, a high vibrational partnership. It's acts of self-love that are able to put you in the right kind of, it feels like, environment, with the right mindset and with the right sort of tone to your energy, to your aura, to your vibration. Your thoughts become things. You emit a very specific frequency then that is calling in like-minded experiences. This isn't the season of like opposites attract. This is something like attracts like. And so the more that you are in this essence of kind of like, yes, I'm ready for the best. I deserve the best because I have worked hard to become the best in and of myself. I know what I bring to the table. I know what I deserve. I know what I require from a partner. And then putting yourself out into the world and just kind of like, world, universe, show me how good it can get. Show me who can come in and kind of match this validation, match the ways in which I'm gassing myself up, who can kind of come in and not waste my time, not play emotional games, not think they're getting one over on me, or looking at this purely as like a circumstance of conquest or something to feed the ego, but who can meet me on kind of those deeper and higher planes of connection and sensuality and exchange and meaning and value between two people as people, and also romantically speaking. So you're getting ready to be in a season, or you're like right here, it's kind of just remain ready, continue to just put yourself out there and be enthusiastic, because the odds are stacked in your favor, and whatever your past has looked like, whatever the heartbreak's been like, whatever the disappointment's been like, you've shed those skins, you've moved beyond that, or you've found a way to kind of like name and compartmentalize those wounds and that pain into a very beautiful place. It's a box tucked away on a shelf. You don't need to look at it right now. Now is the experience for you to just get out there and soak up the joy that is like waiting for you. It's like waiting right around the corner. It's right in front of your face. It's like hidden in plain sight. It's the essence of you as your best. Even when you're not feeling your best, you're radiating so high right now that there is no choice, energetically speaking, for these joyous and beautiful experiences that are a reflection of you to make their way to you, to announce themselves, to become known. And your only task is to welcome them in, to receive them, and to be grateful for that opportunity. So let's see, these initials can be a first, middle, or last name, or can spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. Got O, A, B, N, P, B, C, U, V, Y, G, H, F, M, R, O, E, I, and H. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link to that in the description box of the video. I offer a variety of pre-recorded video readings, written readings, and channeled letters. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.